Hey guys, today's video is about the F-16A ADF Block 15. Its stats are listed here. It doesn't have the best turn rate but has the best energy retention of any plane in this tier. It has a total of 45 countermeasures, 15 flares, and 30 chaff. That's quite low for this tier, so if you play it aggressively, you will eventually run out of countermeasures and have to rearm or bail. Moving on to the weapons. You get the M61 Vulcan, which is standard for American planes of this tier. It has 511 rounds when maxed, giving you around 6 seconds of trigger time. You have 2 infrared missiles, the AIM-9L and the AIM-9M, and 2 SRHs, the AIM-7M and AIM-7MH. The stock loadout of this plane consists of 6 AIM-9Ls. This missile is decent, but only use this loadout if you have absolutely no upgrade points, because it'll be an absolute pain. If you are unlucky enough to have to use this, I'd recommend you turn off your radar and sneak up on enemies by hiding behind terrain. Don't lock enemies when firing your IRs, as then they will have no warning of the missile whatsoever. Though you should only do that if the enemy isn't aware you're there.
Sorry, but I'll have to switch voices from here. Anyways, the better IR missile is the AIM-9M. It is almost exactly the same, except with a 3G higher max G load and suspension tracking IRCCM or infrared countermeasures. You could flare the AIM-9L easily by just cutting afterburner and flaring, but with this missile you have to cut afterburner, flare, and pull hard to the left or right. It also has a smokeless motor which helps surprise the enemy even more, which is always cool to see. Moving on to the SARs, we have the first SAR missile of this plane, the AIM-7M. It has a max G pull of 25 Gs, which is decent for SARs of this tier. The better SAR missile is the AIM-7MH. It is exactly the same, just with a better seeker and the ability to loft. Lofting is when a missile gains altitude at launch to increase range. It is useful when launching at targets over long distances, though that usually isn't recommended to do. I'll now show clips of combat, with each clip having kills with different missiles. And I'll include some deaths to show you what not to do. Here's an engagement with a MiG-29, but with a twist. I launch an AIM-9L without radar lock, hoping that he doesn't see it. Of course he does. I stupidly went one circle but almost got a shot in, but the pilot had other plans. I continue dropping countermeasures during my G-lock to deter missiles. After regaining consciousness, it seems I hadn't learned my lesson yet and go one circle again. The MiG launches an R-73 but I flare in time. The Su-27 that had been bothering me comes back but he launches an R-73 from a long distance, so I easily flare it. I manage to flare one R-73 but there's only so much I can flare with 15 flares and the MiG-29 gets me with an R-73. In this clip, I saw a Mirage 2000. He was near a teammate, so I decided to save my missiles for when I got close to guarantee that my teammate wouldn't have already killed him. I got a missile off in time and he fired a Magic 2. I flared but both of our missiles ended up hitting and we traded kills. It might seem repetitive that I'm including another AIM-7M kill, but I got it in a situation which barely any F-16 players use to their advantage. I'm high up and see an F-4. I dive down, switch to IRs, but then realize that my Sparrows are a better option. I dive down and launch, giving him no time to notch and end up getting the kill. Here's an action-packed clip. I barely notch this AIM-54A, and fire an AIM-9L at the F-14. It misses because it isn't an R-73 and can't pull that hard. My aim lets me down. No judging, or else. Anyways, I fire an AIM-9L. I'm on his 6, so the missile should have no problem getting to him. And it doesn't. I end up getting the kill. I saw an F-16CG and launched an AIM-7MH at him from sub 4 kilometers, so there was no way he'd notch in time. The thing with strike aircraft is you have to stay in the sweet spot where you are far enough to flare their IRs easily but also close enough so that your SARs won't miss. Just then, I saw an F-14. I fired an AIM-7MH but it missed, even though I had him locked. We merged and he fired an AIM-9M, but I flared it in time. I ended up on his 6, which he wasn't ready for, so I took advantage of that by firing an AIM-9M, which he couldn't flare, as it is really hard to flare in rear aspect shots, especially this close. And here's a short message from me. I have my finals in less than 1 month, so sorry, but I won't be able to upload for over a month. I love making vids for you guys but have no choice. That's all for today. Like and sub. Bye.